Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Lehman from Math with Mrs. Lehman. Happy Friday. Today I'm going to do a quick review of what we did in class. I didn't record a lesson with the kids in here today, so I'm just going to go through what we did in class right now. So yesterday we focused on some of these ratio questions that involved them giving the total amount. So let's take a look at this example. This is the lesson 5 exit ticket. So it says, when Carla looked out at the school parking lot, she noticed that for every 2 minivans, there are 5 other types of vehicles. If there are 161 vehicles in the parking lot, how many of them are not minivans? All right, so the key part of that is you want to know how many are not minivans. So for all of these questions, they are going to give you a ratio. So you can see this right here. It's a 2 to 5 ratio. 2 minivans. So you're going to draw that out. So that's your first step. And then I'm just going to call them cars, the other vehicles. There are 5 of those. So draw 5 units. All right. So step 1, draw a tape diagram of the ratio. Right. Step 2 is going to be to label other info given. So in this case it says there are 161 vehicles in the lot. So if we just do the minivans, that would be written here. That's not the case, right? And if they gave us cars, that would be written here. That's not the case. If they told us how many more cars and minivans, it would go there, but that's not the case. They told us that it was 161 in all, so that includes both the minivans and the cars. And you'll notice that the minivans and the cars make up 7 total units, okay? So we know that there are 161 vehicles, and that equals 7 units. All right. So you've labeled the other information. Then you're going to use the process of division. I should say divide. I'm going to erase that. And write divide to find the value we're going to find the value of 1 unit. So in this case, we know that 161 vehicles make up that 7 unit total section. So we're going to divide 161 by 7, and you are going to do that, and you are going to get 23. So we know 1 unit equals 23 vehicles. So there's 23 minivans for that section, 23 here, 23 cars, another group of 23 cars, 23 cars, 23 cars, 23 cars. All right, so once you find the value of 1 unit, you can solve all this. We would easily be able to tell that there are 46 minivans because there's 2 groups of 23. We have 5 groups of 23 here. That multiplies out to give you 115. And the question was how many of them are not minivans. So we would say that 115 vehicles are not minivans. All right. Okay, so sorry about that. I keep getting visitors. So 115 vehicles are not minivans. So you guys, well, we practiced some other examples in class. So we hadn't done number 20 yet, so here's one that we could do. It says at a country concert, the ratio of boys to girls is 2 to 7. So boys to girls, it was 2 boys for every 7 girls. If there are 250 more girls than boys, the key word here that we're going to be dealing with today is more. It wants to know how many boys there are at the concert. So again, first step, we're going to take a look at that ratio, boys to girls. And we have 2 boys for every 7 girls. So draw that out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so step 1 done. Step 2, we're going to label the other info. So it says there are 250 more girls. So that's not the number of girls in all. That's just saying that right here is the amount that's the same, right? These 2 units is the same amount of people as these 2 units. So this section is the group that represents the extra girls that there are that are at the concert. So we have 250 more girls. So we know that 250 makes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. So you're going to take 250, we know that equals 5 units. We need to divide to find the value of 1 unit. So 250 divided by 5 is going to be 50. So we have just found that 1 unit equals 50. So next step, we put that in every box. So 50, 50, 50, 50, so on and so forth. We're just labeling all the boxes. And now we know that 100 boys attended. We had 2 groups of 50. We know that 350 girls attended. We know that altogether there were 450 people. So you can solve anything they ask you as long as you set up that ratio and label correctly what you've been given. So an example that I can show you too is, let me erase a lot of this. All right, so they could have easily said, okay, the ratio of boys to girls is 2 to 7. So you draw that out. Right? And they could have said there were 100 boys. How many girls are there? Right? So in this case, we'd say, okay, I know that these 2 units equals a total of 100. So 100 divided by 2 is going to give me 50. So that could have been something that they said. And as long as you find the value of 1 unit, you can plug that in throughout because every unit is worth the same amount of people. So they could have also said, let me delete that, they could have said there are 350 girls, right? I erased it over here, but 350 girls, divide that among the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. 350 divided by 7 would tell you that there's 50 people in each unit. And then they also could have said that there's 450 people total, and that made up 9 units, so 450 divided by 9 is 50. So they could ask these questions lots of different ways. As long as you label the part correctly and recognize how many units that number represents, then you are able to divide to find the value of 1. All right, so I think there is another example down here, yep, about flip phones. So if you go back another page to page 9, it says the number of people who own a smartphone to the number of people who own a flip phone. So smartphones are listed first, flip phone second, is 4 to 3. Then it says if 500 more people own a smartphone than a flip phone, how many people own each type of phone? So again, you're going to start with that ratio. So we're talking about flip phones. Actually, I'm going to start with smartphones, right? Because that was listed first. So smartphones and flip phones. So 4 units, and flip phones was 3. And I got that from this ratio right here. All right. Now it says 500 more people own a smartphone than a flip phone. So the section that's the same is right here, right? But we know 500 more own the smartphone. So, you know, 500 divided by 1 unit, we know that each unit is worth 500. So you would fill in 500 in each box. And we can easily tell now that there are 1,500 people who owned a flip phone out of this group, and there were 2,000 people who owned a smartphone, and altogether there were 3,500 people. All right, so hopefully this is helping. Again, maybe you want to pause the video and try it and then see if you can come up with the same thing, but I know I'm moving pretty quickly. But let's see. The next set that we worked on, your homework tonight is questions 21 and 22, and you're finding the total. So you're not finding the total. They give you a ratio, right? In this case, boy campers to girl campers, and they said that there's a total of 195 campers. You want to find how many boy campers there are. How many girl campers are there? So be careful where you label that information. It doesn't say that there's that many more boys than girls. It just says that there's a total. So that's going to look a little different than what the more examples look like. Same with number 22. But we're focusing on the more examples today. The other examples in your module book that we talked about yesterday and the day before are set up for the total. Anyway, so this next example is about skiers who bought season passes and snowboarders, and it says that the number of skiers who bought season passes to snowboarders who bought season passes is 1 to 2. So we've got skiers and we've got snowboarders, right? And we know skiers was 1, snowboarders were 2. Again, got that information right here. 1,250 more snowboarders bought season passes than skiers. This amount's the same. I probably should have made that one box a little bit bigger, but either way, the amount to the left is the same, right? This right here is the extra, and that represents 1,250 more snowboarders. So again, they made this one really easy because that is one box, so 1,250. We know the value of that 1 unit. And you can easily tell that there are 2,500 snowboarders and there are 1,250 skiers. All right, so 2,500 snowboarders, 1,250 skiers. All right, and the last one we're going to go over very quickly because kids are coming in here in a second. Adults to students at the prom has to be 1 to 10. So for every 1 adult, there's 10 kids. All right, last year there were 477 more students than adults. If the school is expecting the same attendance, how many adults have to attend the prom? So you're going to set this up again with your ratio of 1 to 10. So adults 1, students 10. Okay, so we know that there are 477 more students than adults. So again, this amount right here is the same. So this group of adults has an equal group of students right here. But this amount is 477 more kids. So this is a huge prom. We have 477 people, and we know that is, I was going to highlight it, but I have that covered with my recording software. So anyway, this right here is made up of 9 units, right? So you can see those 9 units right here. Yep, 9. Okay, I just want to double check that. All right, so we're going to take 477 divided by 9. So you do that, and you're going to get 53 units. Or, sorry, not 53 units, 53 people in each unit. So 53, 53, and we could go ahead and label all of these. But the question asked how many adults, oops, I just wrote 54, 53. I almost did it again. It's warm in here. All right, anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but 53 adults is what you're looking for. That was the question. So 53 adults need to attend the prom. So anyway, I hope this helps you. Tonight, again, on your homework, what you're going to be doing is setting this up with a tape diagram. But again, on these 2 examples, you're looking at the total number, right? You're looking at the total number of people at the prom. If it were an example like 24, 23, the number of skiers and snowboarders. But those questions were worded differently, so it's talking about more. But these questions up here have to deal with, or have to do with the total amount of people. So you just have to set it up accordingly. All right? I hope that helps. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to do IXL if you have a minute, or go on to SumDog And I hope you have a great weekend. Bye. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks. Bye.